Very curious about the long-term impacts of these supply chains. We already had a president who did not like globalization, did not like the reliance on manufacturing in China. I know it would cost more to manufacture goods in the U.S., but it would avoid some of the shutdowns that we had seen from the Wuhan province earlier in January and February. Do you agree that we could see really significant long-term impacts from this?
Well, in terms of the supply chain, I think, yes, we can expect to see long-term impacts. But so right now, because of this disruption, people are coming to realize how dependent they are on the Chinese manufacturing industry. So we're seeing companies starting to speed up their plans to diversify into other countries. So specifically for Apple, their Foxconn, their manufacturing, we're seeing them already opening up a new facility in India, but also because of the recent lockdown, they're seeing a lot of disruptions to their manufacturing as well, and production is limited. They're also looking to extend into Vietnam, but right now there's a limited role it plays. So yes, I think we're going to see some long-term impacts down the road where they diversify into more different locations as well, looking at more into local sourcing. But at this stage right now, there's a lot of things to be discussed, to be looked into. So definitely I would say there's a people are looking into where they can go, but nothing yet is really fixed at the moment. There's a lot unknowns. Yeah.
Companies had been talking about this, though, when President Trump was elected and started looking at tariffs. You had suppliers like Apple, right, already shifting to Vietnam, for one example. How much of this now sort of solidified that transition where companies are now saying, OK, we have to do it?
I think there were some plans for sure last year, but as this year, the U.S. and China trade war was starting to come into some sort of a agreement. That's where the plans started to ease as they see less of an urgency to continue with it. But right now, I think they're really looking into this. So yeah, everything is under discussions at the moment.
Sharon, as we get the complications kind of play out in a pretty unprecedented way, how much planning do you think, or how much would there be a trend to diversify supply chains away from China?
I think it's hard to say for now. I've spoken to somebody just last week, and this person has seen firsthand how efficient the Chinese manufacturers are, the way they have streamlined their processes. They know that they are differentiating themselves by low cost and also from a inexpensive labor. So other countries are starting to build up their own manufacturing chains as well, but to the extent they can reach the level of efficiency and productivity of China remains to be seen. So for the short term, I still think China is going to be a major supply chain in terms of manufacturing for the rest of the world. But slowly you can see there's more diversification. But I would say in the short term, China is still going to be one of the major players around.
How kind of interesting is a play on telcos, on sort of work from home, remote, AI, tech-related names right now? And would that be kind of, I suppose, an interesting point of opportunity as we continue to see these lockdowns across the world?
Telcos, yes. I think telcos right now, they play a very important part in our lives. So because of all the remote working that's going on in all the different countries, they are looking at how to increase their bandwidth for daytime usage as well. So typically, the surge that they will see for internet usage is in the evening, when everybody is at home. But now with the increased usage of video conferencing and teleconferencing, there's a surge in this usage. And I think they've been pretty well. They've been doing pretty well in increasing the bandwidth and making sure distribution is met. But of course, we're still seeing some disruptions, especially as you are talking with your colleagues in different regions. But on the whole, I'd say there hasn't been any serious disruptions to the way we work in my company, and I believe for many others as well. So I think moving on, we're going to see IT players and telcos as well going to play a bigger part in our society as a whole as internet becomes increasingly integral in our day-to-day life, especially with your Internet of Things technology and smart cities coming up. So telcos will be a very crucial player in the whole digital economy moving into the future.